The time is 6:42 a.m. Good morning. The news headline. Pastor Adeboye Møürns fresh crisis rocks synagogue church Ipob. Members wreak havoc. The news in full. Pastor Adeboye of the Redeemed Christian Church of God (RCCG) has reacted to the death of an Asian preacher, David Yonggi Cho. Yonggi Cho was the co-founder of Yoido Full Gospel Church in South Korea. The popular minister of the gospel died on Tuesday morning at the age of 85 after battling complications from a stroke. Reacting, Adeboye expressed sadness over the death of Yonggi Cho. In a statement issued on Tuesday, the RCCG General Overseer recounted his encounter with Yonggi Cho during his lifetime. Several years ago, I visited South Korea because I heard of a man who had the largest church in the world. Adeboye recalled how Yonggi Cho told those who attended who came one Sunday to please not come back next Sunday, so that those who couldn't come last Sunday can come next Sunday. I said, God, so you can do this. Some years ago, I returned to South Korea. I had a meeting with the same man. The first time I was there, people like me could not come near the office. But this time around, I went to his office at his invitation. When we met, he said, I have heard of you. Will you please pray for me? So we'll meet again on the resurrection morning. Rest in God's presence, Pastor David Yonggi Cho, Adeboye said. And the Squad members reject TB Joshua's wife as successor. Some members of the Synagogue Church of All Nations Squad, founded by late prophet Temitope Joshua, have rejected emergence of his wife, Evelyn, as a new leader of the church. Late prophet TB Joshua died suddenly without naming a successor, but his wife was left weak-named as the leader. But those against Evelyn's emergence said that the late founder expected his successor to be from the pastors in the church whom he had anointed. They claim that the rule has been swept aside by a few members whom they alleged were building stumbling blocks against the progress of the church. In a statement in Akure, under the auspices of Global Congress of Squad Members (GCSM), and signed by one Adedeji Okoyemi, president of GCSM, and secretary Mrs. Brown Chimezi, the Squad members called on all Christians and people all over the world to help in sustaining the church from ruin. The statement said that the biggest task was to honor the last wish of Prophet TB Joshua and keep his flag flying. They said, we are worried about the emergence of Mrs. Evelyn Joshua, the wife of the late founder, who made unilateral declaration of herself as the new leader of the church. She claimed a congregation of 2,000 church members appointed her. This is ridiculous. Where did the meeting hold? Was it through a yes vote? Was it through election? Was it through anointing by the 2,000 members? Where is the resolution of the 2,000 members? Can 2,000 members pick a successor in the church with millions of members all over the world in 5 continents? What is the constitution of the church? Was it followed? Pastor TB Joshua never ran the church on the basis of profits. Today, there is a design by the newly self-imposed leader, Mrs. Evelyn Joshua, to commercialize every activity in the church for money. Mrs. Evelyn Joshua is not a pastor. She was never appointed by Pastor Joshua. She was not part of the founding members of the church. What is the basis of her emergence as the person now parading herself as the new leader? Under the aegis of Squad Congress, made of members from 188 countries, we shall continue to inform and educate the public, people all over the world, on every development at Squad until wisdom of the ways of God and common sense prevail. And these were the words of some members of of the church of the late TB Joshua of Squad, which is the Synagogue Church of All Nations. He died quite of recent, and there have been disturbances all over the church about the emergence of his wife as the new successor of late TB Joshua, where some people claimed that they are against. A few members say that they are against the emergence of this woman, saying that she would be a stumbling block to the progress of the church. And there was a statement that was written by some Global Congress of Squad members, known as a GCSM, and signed by one Adeboye Okoyemi, who claims to be the president of the GCSM, and another Mr. Brown Chimeze, who claims to be the Squan GCSM secretary, saying that they are calling for Christians all over the world to help them to sustain the church from ruin. And the statement said that the biggest task was to honor the last wish of TB Joshua and keep his flag flying. And they made an allegation that the wife of TB Joshua, Evelyn, was actually, enforcing herself, like she actually enforced herself on the congregation, whereby they said she claimed that the congregation of 2,000 church members appointed her. And these people are actually, questioning that fact, that where did such meeting hold, that was it through a yes vote or was it through election, that was it through anointing by the 2,000 members, saying that the constitution of the church was not followed, and it is not possible for 2,000 members to pick a successor in a church that has millions of members all over the world, saying that they are worried about our emergence because the former the late Pastor TB Joshua, never ran the church on the basis of profit. But today, what they see is that there is a design by the self-imposed leader in their ward, Mrs. Evelyn Joshua, to commercialize every activity of the church for money. And they said that what is the basis of our emergence, as the person now parading herself as the new leader, thereby calling on the members from 188 countries that they should help out in restoring common sense, and they would continue to feed the public about every development at Squan until the ways of God and common sense prevail. And this is a compliment to the reaction of Pastor Adeboye, about a famous Asian preacher, Yonggi Cho, who died of recent. Pastor Adeboye of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, RCCG, reacted to this Asian preacher death, saying that the minister of gospel died on Tuesday morning at the age of 85 after battling complications, from a stroke. And reacting, Adeboye's sadness expressed over the death of Yonggi Cho, because he said that he can recall his encounter with the Yonggi Cho during his lifetime, because sometimes ago he visited South Korea, of which is the place of Yonggi Cho, and when he got to the place, because he has always heard of Yonggi Cho to be a popular pastor that has the highest number of the largest church and highest number of worshippers in his church. And when he got there, he recalled that Yonggi Cho told people that came on church on a Sunday that they should not come next Sunday, to avoid so that those that were not able to attend church that particular Sunday can come around. So he lived a very good life, and Pastor Adeboye says that till they meet again on the resurrection morning, that Yonggi Cho should rest in God's presence. Thanks for listening. Good morning.